Okay, here's an example of welfare state gone way off the deep end. So here's an article from London Telegraph. Apparently in England, the government has now started subsidizing, it started funds that are going to social services are now being used to help people who are using the social services because they're disabled or whatever to go to prostitutes. Yeah, just a few quotes from the article. One local authority has agreed a healthcare plan including, I think that's agreed to a healthcare plan, including payment for a 21-year-old with learning disabilities to have sex with a prostitute in Amsterdam next month. His social worker, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said social services were there to identify and meet the needs of their clients, which, in the case of an angry and frustrated young man, meant paying for sex. Here we go. A spokeswoman for Knowsley Council said requests for funding to access sexual services would be looked at on a case-by-case nature. Zoe Grace Cozens, who wrote the council's policy on learning disability and sexuality, said the authority also had a duty of care to ensure that those dealing with learning disabilities were not being exploited financially if they paid for prostitutes from their own money. To quote Miss Cozens, that could mean care workers phoning to check what rate sex workers were charging. So, oh god. Okay, first of all, anytime you're dealing with any sort of business, whether it's prostitution or selling somebody a pair of shoes, of course they're taking advantage of the person who's seeking their service. They're there to get their money in exchange for providing the service. And, I mean, seriously, you're gonna check what rates prostitutes are charging to make sure they're not taking advantage of their clients. What do you think you're doing if you're having sex with somebody in exchange for money? So another line from here. Belinda Schwer, a legal consultant who advises councils, said many authorities agreed to support plans for clients which did not specify how funds would be used once they passed out of their hands. From what I have seen, at least 1/4 of local authorities are doing support plans which only state what outcomes should be achieved, not which services are being employed. In the case of someone given funds to go to a sex worker, such documents might set out an intended emotional outcome rather than the means by which it was achieved, she suggested. To quote her, if you have a happy and calm person who was previously frustrated and angry, that might achieve a good outcome, but the case law says councils should be setting out which services they used. Or which services are being used. Well, yeah. Close enough. And, of course, at the bottom, Liz Sayce, chief executive of Disability Network Radar, said the desire for sexual relations was a matter of human rights, meaning cases involving payments should be carefully examined on a case-by-case basis. Yeah. Apparently, the right to go see a prostitute is now a basic human right. That's pretty far from here in the United States, where prostitution is still illegal. But in England, it's apparently a human right.